Uh, so the topic for today is industries. So this is a very important chapter in our economic survey. After agriculture, you know that you have industries, and I hope that everybody is comfortable with English, right? So if in case you do not understand anything, you can feel free to talk to me, stop me at any this thing. This is a disclaimer I'm giving you in the beginning itself. Okay, in case you don't understand anything, you can always stop me at any second. I'll be happy to repeat that, right? So in the general sector model of economy, there are mainly three sectors, that is primary sector, tertiary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. Okay, so primary sector is what we would generally refer to as agriculture and its allied activities. That is anything to do with the direct cultivation of soil. Is this clear? Now, secondary sector is where we process it even more further and we go ahead, and mainly this is what we call as industries. This will further result in the tertiary sector, which is mainly called as the services. Now you might ask that is this the only three things there is to it? No, there is something called as quaternary sector and quinary sector also. Okay, now quaternary sector mainly deals with research and development, and quinary sector, which is the highest sector, is generally where we would deal with politicians, policy makers, administrators. That is, all our future aspirations are in the quinary sector. Okay, we also call this as golden collar, right? But right now, usually what we will discuss in the economic survey is just these three sectors, which is agriculture and the secondary sector and the tertiary sector, right? So it's of paramount importance that we have a little bit of clarity regarding this. Okay, so if we talk about this, the primary sector, okay, it is like I told you, it is nothing but agriculture. Okay, in India, do you guys know what is the population of India? 142, 143 crores, correct? So in that 143 crores, 142 crores, about 48.9% are directly, okay, you have to listen to these words carefully, directly dependent on the primary sector. Okay, directly or indirectly anta helidre percentage will become more. But here directly I am telling 48.9%. Andre approximately ಎಷ್ಟು crore ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 142 crore total population idre? Around some 70 crores approx, right? Because close to 50% allo. Okay, so we can tell that this is what we will call as the dependency ratio, right? Dependency ratio means they are directly dependent on agriculture. Now so many people are dependent on it, but generally we would expect that if 50% of the people are dependent, 50% would be their contribution in GDP. But that is where it is wrong. Okay, even though so many people are dependent on it, the actual thing is it does not translate into productive monetary terms in terms of GDP, right? So here, how much percent does it actually tell that we contribute from agriculture is only 18%, right? Only 18% actually comes from agriculture. Is this fine? Okay. Next is what we would call as the secondary sector. Now secondary sector is nothing but the industries. Okay, now industries is where about quarter of the population, okay, quarter of the population approximately, but exact agi helbekandre if I have to tell you more precisely, it is 24.3%. Okay, 24.3%. This many people are dependent on agriculture. Imagine that 140 crore people are present. How much is 25%? Approx number 45, 35. Okay, because half is 70, 25% is 35, correct? So 35 crore people are dependent. Now you would expect them that generally if optimal productivity means it would be about 25% only which it is contributing to the GDP. But we saw that in agriculture it is actually quite reverse. Okay, so here it is only it is not only per se, it is actually more than what it is, but 31% comes from industries. Okay, 31% comes from the industries. Sorry, 31% to the GDP. Andre nam full GDP alli 31% is coming from industries. So as you can see, it's not a loss making venture for sure. Okay, because if you look at the total number of population which are employed and how much it is contributing to GDP, it is actually good only, right? So it's not bad. The next one is the tertiary sector. Okay, now tertiary sector is what you would call as the services sector. Okay, now services sector is nothing but all of the things which are intangible in nature, meaning to say that it could be banking, it could be restaurants, it could be transport, it could be banking, it could be healthcare, it could be education. All these things are services, right? So over here, approximately you see that 26.9% of the total people are engaged in the tertiary sector, right? And after you see that 26.9% being the dependency ratio, this is actually contributing close to 50%. Okay, close to 50% it is actually contributing. Okay, so this is the tertiary sector. Now you might ask that where are all these numbers from? Okay, because usually whenever we try to tell you any numbers, we have to quote a source. Okay, even when you are writing mains answers also, if you just write numbers, it might not be all that feasible. But whenever you try to write statistics, it is always of paramount importance that you have to write where you got this from. So, e numbers ella ellinda siktu, we got this from something called as NSO report. Okay. Now, NSO is something which we will keep seeing again and again throughout our class today. Okay, throughout our journey in this class. So over here, NSO, I am telling you a little bit of prior information. NSO is a body which was erstwhile called as CSO and NSSO. Now two of these bodies, CSO, that is the Central Statistical Organization, and National Sample Survey Organization, two of these bodies have come together to form what we call as NSO, which is National Statistical Organization. Is this clear? Okay. So now we have some basic clarity as to what are these sectors, how much percentage of people are here, and how much of productivity is happening from here. This is the basic gist which we have got. Are you guys following with me? Like, is English okay, right? Everyone? Anyone is having difficulty? You have to tell it to me or else I will not be knowing. Online, everybody are clear till here? Very good. Nenite. Okay. So it is CSO and NSO, and this was done in 2019. Very good. Okay. Now the next thing what we are going to be looking at, okay, is that generally you might have noticed this particular arrow mark, right? So what does this arrow mark imply? Meaning to say that from primary it is going to secondary, from secondary it is going to tertiary, correct? From primary it is going to secondary, secondary it is going to tertiary. Meaning to say that from one sector it is going and transitioning to the other sector. Okay, and this is almost the rule in most of the economies in the world. Okay, there was one person who was called as who told that this particular transition from primary to secondary, secondary to tertiary is a very natural phenomenon. It happens everywhere. So the person who told this was called as Arthur Lewis. Okay, Arthur Lewis, and he titled a paper. Okay, so according to his paper was called as Economic Development of unlimited supplies of labor. Okay, So little bit of some factual things. Sometimes it is important when it comes to exams like KPSC. So he wrote one paper, this person called Arthur Lewis. He wrote this paper called as Economic Development of Unlimited Supplies of Labor. Okay, and according to this particular paper, he mentioned something called as this transition which is there from primary to secondary, secondary to tertiary. And this transition is named after him. It is called as Lewisian transition. Lewisian transition. I hope that this is clear. Okay, what is it? Nothing. It's just telling that from primary it will go to secondary, from secondary it will go to tertiary. Now, how he explains this particular phenomena is that, see, in primary, in agriculture, there are a lot of people. Okay, now think about this, that we are only part of an economy. I want you to try to imagine this, that we are only part of an economy where it is entirely agriculture based. Now, as time increases, development will increase, and as development will increase, the technology, the capital which is invested in agriculture will increase, and as this increases, the number of people who are actually going to be engaged in agriculture will become less and less and less, correct? This is what we call as disguised unemployment, right? So the marginal productivity will go and tend towards becoming zero, correct? So this will go on becoming lesser and lesser and lesser. Now what will happen to those extra people? According to Lewisian transition, he tells that these people will go to the secondary sector, okay? Now industries will start developing. Industries will begin to develop, okay? And as the industries start developing, it will become more capital oriented, more better technology will be developed, and all these things will be happening, wherein you see that more and more people will start feeling that that many people is not required, more and more automation is happening. Now all this extra people is there. What will happen to them? They will gain more skills and go to the next transition, which is the services sector. Okay, and like this, we transition from one sector to another sector. If you look at China's growth story, this is what happened. Okay, that we see that China, you guys have heard of Mao Zedong? Mao Zedong, he was the person who came up with Maoism. Okay, he started building his economy based on agriculture. Okay, but somewhere agriculture was in its peak somewhere in 1980s, and that time Mao Zedong died. Now the next person who took over was called as Deng Xiaoping. Okay, so this Deng Xiaoping, okay, now I want you to have a little bit of patience, some 15-20 minutes. It might seem like this is supposed to be a Karnataka related thing and everything, okay, but have some patience for 10-15 minutes. Once everything is completed, it will start making sense, okay, because some amount of basic knowledge is required. If I suddenly start with so much of data, you will not be able to process all of that. Okay, so just listen to this story. Okay, my job is that in 2.5 hours you will be understanding this particular chapter, okay, and I will guarantee that. So for now, just sit tight. Okay, so in this particular thing, what Mao Zedong did is that till now, okay, China, when Mao Zedong was there, it always followed a closed door policy. Okay, closed door policy means always it told that nobody should enter our body, we should not have any trade with anybody outside, okay, and we don't need anyone. Whatever is there in China, that is enough for our people to survive. And agriculture developed. But when the next person, Deng Xiaoping, came, okay, he is called as the father of Chinese Revolution. So this person, when he comes, he tells that, he makes one very famous statement. He tells that no country can survive with closed borders. We need to open up, and that is when China adopted this philosophy of something called as market socialism. Okay, so when market socialism started coming in the front, that time they started having trade with all of the other countries, and they started having big industrial bases. Okay, huge SEZs. SEZs almost the size of 10 towns in India. That size, there was one industrial hub, where if one hub was manufacturing plastic buckets, that whole place would manufacture only plastic buckets. So what would be the advantage here? when they went on to manufacture plastic buckets, the economies of scale would be generated. Okay, this is what in economics we call as incremental capital output ratio. Have you guys heard of this term? Incremental capital output ratio means basically, like, imagine that you go to one restaurant, you order one thali. How much will it be? Let's take 150 rupees or 100 rupees. Okay, let's take 100 rupees. Okay, now this 100 rupees, imagine that you will go and order 1000 thalis. Avaglu no 100 rupees irata. Will it be the same? What will change? Because of the quantity is more, they will reduce the price, no? Here also, the quantity which is being generated is immense. Why? Because of this person's vision, Deng Xiaoping. Okay, and they started this revolution of market socialism in 1979. Okay, and it was a voluntary notion. This is something which you have to remember. It was a voluntary notion. Voluntary means they did it on their own. Nobody forced them to do. Okay, next I am going to be telling you. So because of this, what happened? From primary, China went to secondary. They started having a very strong industrial base. They generated a lot of capital. They generated a lot of forex reserves. Using this forex reserves, now they are building on their tertiary and their economy became very huge. Okay, but when it came to our story, Indian story, Bharat story, what happened is that it became a little different. Okay, so we in 1991, we faced something called as balance of payment crisis. I am sure all of you are aware of this balance of payment crisis. So when balance of payment crisis was there, our import cover, that is import cover means how much of money we have for trading with all of the other countries, became very less, only enough to last us for the next 2 weeks. So it was very less, we don't know what to do. That time we were under a lot of tremors, we were under a lot of problem. So that time the then Prime Minister was called as P.V. Narasimha Rao and the Finance Minister was called as Manmohan Singh. Now both of them, they went and they got in something called as Rao Manmohan reforms. Okay, Rao Manmohan reforms, one more name for this is called as the LPG reforms, which mainly talked about the liberalization, privatization, globalization on a quid pro quo. On a quid pro quo means on a basis of reciprocity. On a basis of reciprocity means I will do something, you do something. So they went to IMF and they asked, please help us. Our economy is sinking. You please help us. You have to do something. IMF, World Bank told, okay, like how China has done, you also open up your economy. We'll help you. Okay, so we opened up our economy. LPG happened, and we also started improving after that. But one major difference which you have to see between the Chinese growth story and the Indian growth story is that the Indian growth story mainly dealt with a forced kind of a conversion into our economy. I mean, the Indian growth story. The China did it on a voluntary basis. They themselves wanted to do. It was their leadership which warranted them to do this. Correct? And because of this, there was one thing which happened. We skipped this Lewisian transition and went from primary to tertiary directly. Okay? Because of so many reasons. We did not have a strong industrial base, but directly we went and we started developing our services sector. Now, how did this exactly happen? Okay, it's not like because of LPG only this was triggered. This was triggered a little behind P.V. Narasimha Rao at Rajiv Gandhi's time. Okay, at this time what had happened was that Rajiv Gandhi ji, he thought that our then Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi ji, he thought that like every country is going from agriculture to industry to services, but after industry they need services only, right? So when they need services, why not develop India into a services hub wherein every country, once they have developed once they have completed their industrial sector development, when they come to services, India will be ready. That time India will become the hub for services. Okay, there were some advantages, there were some disadvantages to this, but today what we are seeing is mostly the disadvantages of this. Okay, that time it proved to be mostly a correct move, but actually it proved disastrous because of course there was growth, no doubt about this. But what actually happened was that it triggered something called as jobless growth. Okay, jobless growth means many people are unemployed, right? But we have growth. If you see our economy, today we are $3.8 trillion, which is pretty good. But if industries was developed, many of the World Bank reports, World Economic Forum reports, it suggests that if that time the step which was taken would have been industrial sector instead of developing services sector, we would have been a $10 trillion economy. Got this? So today we are 3.8, we should be proud of it. But if that particular decision was reversed and they concentrated on making secondary as the base, today we might have been $10 trillion economy. Okay? So I hope that this much is clear. But apart from that, there were other problems also. It is not only Rajiv Gandhi's decision. Like for example, we did not have, industry requires a lot of capital, right? Like it's not, we of course had a lot of people to come and work. But our ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡಕ್ಕೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? So ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ದುಡ್ಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅವರು ಕೊಡಕ್ಕೆ. So services sector, people were ready to work for something less and we would get money from outside. So in that place it was working out. There was a lot of English speaking youth, which was again one more advantage. Okay, in China that advantage was not there. They speak Mandarin, they speak Chinese. In India they speak English. So that was again one more advantage which they had. So because of all of these things, we started having this particular thing, that this particular secondary sector was not so developed, we directly went to tertiary. But for any economy to be developed, we need all the three sectors, that is primary, secondary and tertiary, to be fully developed to reach its optimum potential of development. Is this clear? Primary, secondary, tertiary, all the three sectors have to be developed, okay, for any country to reach its optimum development. I hope that this is clear. Okay, now our primary sector, lot of people, you already see that lot of people are there, but very less productivity. So there are lot of schemes with respect to agriculture. Our services sector is doing well by God's grace. But our industrial sector, somewhere where potential is missed. What is India's story there? What is Karnataka's story there? That is what we are going to be looking at in this particular lesson. Got this? Now, when we come to the secondary sector or the industry, okay, industry is a very small word. Now, secondary sector broadly deals with some of these particular, divisions. Now, the first thing is agro processing. Okay. The second one is the most important, what we will be discussing today, is manufacturing. Okay. And the third one is what we would call as utility services. Now you might get this question, what is this utility services, boss? Okay. Utility services means it could be gas, it could be water, it could be electricity. Basically that also has to be manufactured, no? Okay, but all of these we consume, we utilize. Okay. So next one is construction. After this you have trade, transport, logistics, okay, real estate, so all these subdivisions there. Now in all of these things, manufacturing is what is the most important. Almost manufacturing is such an umbrella term that everything else will be covered under that if you properly look at it. Because agro processing also, agricultural productivity, agricultural products you are manufacturing, okay, and utility services also is being manufactured. Construction also, buildings are being manufactured. So overall manufacturing is a very big term, right? So in this classification of manufacturing, we see that we have certain classifications on how we want to see it, right? So, if we look at this, okay, let me just take you through all the classifications real fast. Okay, the first one is based on ownership. Now, when we see that it is based on ownership, mainly we see that who is owning it is being manufactured, but who is owning it. First one, it can be a public sector company. Public sector company means that a government entity is owning it. Next one is that it can be a private sector company. Private sector company means that it is owned by private people. That is you, me, anyone else. If we have an industry, that is called as we are the private sector. Okay. Next one is a joint sector ownership. Joint sector ownership means where a public and a private together will come into a contract and start manufacturing that particular product. Okay. It can be on a temporary basis or on a permanent basis. Like for example, when a public sector undertaking is goes for disinvestment. Do you guys know what is disinvestment? Disinvestment means where the public company sells its shares. That time a private company will also come into the picture. Okay, in that case, DPAM, which is the body in charge of doing it, okay, they will diversify the shares, and private company will also come into the stock holding, right? Where it is called as a joint sector undertaking. Okay. Next, the fourth one is called as cooperative sector. Public sector, private sector, joint sector, and fourth one, cooperative sector. Okay. Now, cooperative sector is very, very easy. It is just 10, 15, 20 people coming together and forming a body. They usually will not be in charge or manufacturing something very big, usually be something very small, okay, like pickle making, papad making, agarbatti making, something like that, but that is also manufacturing. Okay, and on basis of ownership, 10, 15 people will come together, usually women. Okay, so it's a very good way of empowering the rural women, right? Next one, second one is based on the weight. Based on weight, okay, and bulk of raw materials. Now, based on weight and bulk of raw materials, you usually would classify them on what is the kind of product they are manufacturing. Is it something which is heavy? Is it something which is light? Based on this, you have something called as heavy industries and light industries. Okay, and after this, the next one is called, it's based on capital. Okay, and when it is based on capital, usually it is called as large industries, medium industries, or small industries. Okay, but generally we have a term for both of this. Okay, and one more, it's called as MSME. Okay, and it's a very, very important component which we'll be discussing it further. Next one is, it is based on the role. Okay, and when it is based on the role, it is either called as a consumer industry, next one, or a feeder industry. Based on the role means, what is the role of that industry? Is it manufacturing a complete product, or is it manufacturing a feeder product which is going to be a raw material for something else? Got it? Okay, like for example, imagine that you are manufacturing a toothpaste. There is some chemical in it called as sorbitol. Now, if they are buying it, that sorbitol, from some other company, some chemical which they are buying it, then this will become a feeder industry, and the toothpaste manufacturing will become a complete thing, that is the consumer industry. Is this clear? Like this, anything, if they are manufacturing a screw and if they have a bike, that bike will become the consumer industry. that nut to screw engine will become the feeder industry. Is this clear? Do you guys know what is inverted duty structure? What is inverted duty structure? Higher cost of finished products. Very good. Okay, so inverted duty structure is a term which you have to know. Inverted duty structure basically means that the finished product is of a higher cost than the raw materials. Okay, sorry, finished product is of a lower cost than the raw materials. Okay, so finished product being lower cost than the raw materials means if you want to purchase all the raw materials and assemble all of this and want to manufacture, let's say, a bike, actually you will see that the cost of that particular thing will actually become more than directly buying a bike. I hope you guys got this. If you want, I'll explain once in Kannada also. Okay, see, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಇವಾಗ ನಾವೊಂದು ನಟ್ಟು, ಒಂದು ಬೋಲ್ಟು, ಒಂದು ಟಯರು, ಒಂದು ಇಂಜಿನ್ನು ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಬೈಕ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಸೆಂಬಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ಬೈಕ್ನ ಮಾರಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ದುಡ್ಡಾಗುತ್ತೋ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಚೀಪಾಗಿ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಬೈಕ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಆಗ್ತಾಯಿದೆ. ಇದನ್ನು ಇನ್ವರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಡ್ಯೂಟಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಅಷ್ಟು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಮೆಟೀರಿಯಲ್ ತೊಗೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ. So this actually discourages, this is one term which actually discourages our indigenous production. Okay? Fine. Now that we have some basics with us, okay, we will see what is there in this particular class. So if you look at this particular thing, you will see that Karnataka's, we already have some basic details with us, right? That is, how much percentage of people are being employed into the industry sector? 24.8, okay. And how much is the GDP contribution? Okay, close to 30%, right? Now, Karnataka's influence has been that we are one of the forefront runners, okay, when it comes to industrial economy, and particularly with respect to high-end technology sectors. Okay, that is, in what do we manufacture? We told that yes, India we are the ones who are the leading in many aspects in terms of manufacturing. But what are we leading at? First one is what we would call as high technology sectors. Why? Because Bangalore is here. Okay, so high technology sectors, electronics, ICT, that is information and communication technology, and nanotechnology. Okay, in all these things, and of course BT, we are the BT capital, so biotechnology, nanotechnology, IT, ICT. Okay, all of these things we are the leading manufacturers. Okay, next one, when it comes to industrial structure, that is, we told that we are the leading producers in all of this. But what does the industrial structure look like? Okay, does it have a range? Range means like what kind of products do we produce? See, Karnataka is one place where there is poverty also and where there is extreme wealth also. Both of these things exist. So you will obviously have a lot of range when it comes that poor people also want to get into manufacturing, rich people also want to get into manufacturing, and when rich people manufacture something it will be different product, and when poor people manufacturing something it will be different product. But both are people of Karnataka, and because both are people from Karnataka, the range of manufacturing products will be huge. Correct? So here we see that from Bangalore to North Karnataka, if you look at the range of products, we see that high-tech capital goods, okay, and knowledge-intensive industries will exist in places like Bangalore, and along with that, you see some traditional consumer goods industries also, okay, traditional consumer goods industries. Is this clear? Okay, traditional consumer goods industries means some basic things, agarbatti making, papad making, pickle making in the Iddu. Suddenly full entire big, you have, in fact, if you go near Bell Road, you'll have all these heavy industries there. Okay, from there till that agarbatti making, we have a lot of range in Karnataka. Okay, next one, very important, here we are quoting a report. Okay, It's called as SDG India Index Report. I think in my first class only I had made you guys by heart all the SDGs. Okay, do you guys remember it? SDG 9 andre enu? SDG 9, can you guys tell me online? Industry, infrastructure and innovation. Okay, so that time what I had told you is that the United Nations will give SDGs, 17 goals, okay, and it will monitor every, there is United Nations Sustainable Development Network, it will monitor every particular country on how it is performing. But we all of the countries have its own national index. National index andre internationally yaro monitor ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ SDGs ಹೆಂಗೆ follow ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ, but nationally we monitor ourselves also. And how do we monitor ourselves? We engage in something called as competitive federalism. Okay, competitive federalism. What is federalism? It is nothing but the division of powers between center and states, correct? So the division of power between center and states, competitive federalism means the division of powers between center and states, all the states will compete against each other to become the best versions of themselves. To actualize their full potential, each of the states will compete against themselves. And there will be one body which will engage each state with each other in competitive federalism and see which state comes up as the best. That particular organization in India is called as Niti Aayog. Okay, now Niti Aayog, even though there is an international SDG index, Niti Aayog gives something called as SDG India Index, okay, in which it groups states according to its performance in various of the SDGs. Okay, like for example, SDG 1, no poverty, SDG 2, zero hunger, SDG 3, good health and well-being, SDG 4, quality education, SDG 5, gender empowerment, SDG 6, clean drinking water and sanitation. Like this, it monitors each of these SDGs on how well each of these states are doing. So basically, we see that there is a categorization in that Karnataka stands 6th in this particular SDG. Okay, which is given by Niti Aayog, Karnataka stands 6th. And since we are talking about industry innovation, this thing, okay, so there also we see that Karnataka is 6th. Okay, in that particular SDG 9 also, which is talking about industry innovation and infrastructure, there also Karnataka is 6th. I hope that this is clear. Okay. Now, what I want you to observe in this particular chart, okay, it's a joint exercise. Whenever we have any chart, I want all of you to notice what I ask you to notice and tell me what you see. Is this clear? Now, when you have here, what you have here are certain rows and columns, okay. Over here in these columns, you have the states which have stood first, second, third, and finally, since we are talking about our state, 6th. And this is what is mentioned in the economic survey. Okay, so first, second, third and 6th. Is this clear? So here, what I want you to say, and this is the India's average. Okay, so I want you to look at these numbers. These numbers are not very important. They will not be asking specific. Okay, but I want you to see whether you just tell me, are we better than the average, Indian average, or are we lacking behind in certain aspects? Okay, this is very clear. Are we better than full India together? If we just take Karnataka, are we better than India, or are we more bad than India? That is all I want you to see right now. Okay, okay. So first one, what we are looking at is manufacturing employment as a percentage of total employment. Okay, manufacturing employment as a percentage of total employment. This is one particular industry innovation infrastructure ide alva SDG 9 alli. Adralli one target is this one, manufacturing employment with percentage of total employment. Now this is basically telling you that in the total amount of employment in agriculture, industries, services, in industries there is one sector which is called as manufacturing. This manufacturing compared to the total employment, is it doing good or is it doing bad? That is all we are asking here. So in Gujarat, okay, is it better than India? In Tamil Nadu, is it better than India? ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಂದಿರೋ ಮಸಾಲೆ ದೋಸೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕರಗಿಸಿ. Okay, in Punjab is it better than India? In Karnataka? Okay, if we look at this, it's actually lesser than India in terms of how much we are employing when it comes to manufacturing. Okay, this is something which we can observe. That means that in the number of quantity of people, it is less. This is our first observation. Second one, percentage of targeted habitations connected by all weather roads under Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. Okay, now I am pretty sure you all know what is Gram Sadak Yojana. What is Gram Sadak Yojana? Anyone? Not just road, metalled roads. Okay, that is a very important roads. Or you have something called Kacha road and Pakka road. No, we are talking about Pakka road here, and it ensures last mile connectivity. Okay, all of us will know, but ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸರಿ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ವರ್ಡ್ಸು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪೇ ಅ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಬಿಟ್ ಅಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ನಿಟಿಗ್ರಿಟೀಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟೆಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟೇಷನ್ಸ್ is Gujarat better than the Indian average? Yes, that means 100% it is last mile connectivity is there. Is Tamil Nadu better? Is Punjab better? Is Karnataka better? Yes, that means that all the top 6 states have 100%, okay, with respect to Gram Sadak Yojana. This is something which we have to notice. Okay, next one, when it comes to the percentage share of gross value added to the manufacturing of the total GVA. Okay, here we are talking about the current prices, not constant prices, gross value added at current prices. Okay, for people who don't understand that much economics, let me just simplify or dumb it down for you guys. Okay, yenenu illa, imagine how much of value are you adding? Simple, how much of value are you adding? Like for example, if for example 3 hours you would have studied in home, you came to class. Compared to the 3 hours of you studying in home, compared to that which you came to class, are you getting more than what you studied in that 3 hours, or are you getting less than what you studied in the 3 hours? If it is more, how much is it more? That is the amount of value which is being added. Did you guys understand the basic analogy? Now here also, we are just telling that the percentage share of GVA in manufacturing. GVA means everybody will manufacture, but how much of value is actually being added? Understood this? Now here they are seeing that 36.74% is the value which is being added in Gujarat. Okay, 20.58 is the value which is being added in this thing in Tamil Nadu. Okay, and in Punjab it is 13.78. In these three, what can you notice? That Gujarat is manufacturing some very high value things. Okay, have you guys heard of Surat? Surat is called as diamond cutting capital. Okay, so all of these things really make a difference, because even though it's such a small thing, but the value which is being added in terms of how much money is being generated will be way more. Okay, when some Tamil Nadu is doing Amma pickle, they are doing diamond. Reflection is 36 and 20. Got it? So here Punjab is less. We are better in terms of the value when it comes to Punjab, but still way behind when it comes to Gujarat and Tamil Nadu. But are we better or are we worse than the Indian average? Worse, correct? We are more behind. There is something which we have to see. This is what the economic survey has told us. Correct? Next. So ಇವಾಗವರೆಗೂ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾಯಿತು ನಮಗೆ? We see that over here manufacturing ಅಲ್ಲಿ employment is less. Okay, and Gram Sadak Yojana infrastructure is pretty good, and the value which is being added is moderate. This is something which we observed. Next one is something called as Leeds report. Have you guys heard of Leeds report? This is basically talking about logistics ease. Okay, so though this logistics ease across different states, logistics ease means basically logistics is freight carriage from one place to another through multimodal connectivity. That is what is called as logistics. Freight carriage andre ನಾವು ಇವಾಗ ಒಂದು ಜಾಗದಿಂದ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಜಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. Okay, that we usually don't term as logistics. When cargo moves from one place to another place, that is called as logistics. Now, do we have the necessary infrastructure to go from road to waterways, from waterways to railways, from railways to airport? That is what is called as logistics connectivity. From one state to another state, how is the procedural ease? Okay, this is what will be explained in Leeds report. Is this fine? Now in this, we see that 3.62 is the ranking which is given to Gujarat, 3.4, 3.46 and 3.37. Okay, so almost everything is the same, and the Indian average is even more behind, meaning to say there is northeast and all, their connectivity is actually very low. So those things will bring this down, correct? Next one, innovation score. Now when it comes to innovation score, okay, we will be in the top. You know the reason why? Because of Bangalore, right? So there is something called as India Innovation Index. Have you guys heard of this? Now under the India Innovation Index, it's very important because Bangalore is number 1 in that India Innovation Index. Okay. Now they judge different cities, different places based on so many factors. Like it could be the amount of PhD scholars which are being generated from that place. It could be the research contribution to GDP which is given to that place. We have IISc, okay, which can be the amount of patents which are registered for that number of population. In Bangalore, we have the startup capital, so obviously a lot of new things would be generated, okay, and whether it's a knowledge intensive sector. So all of these things will make Bangalore as number 1, okay. So even this India Innovation Index also says this, and you can clearly see the kind of gap which is there between all the other states compared to Karnataka, correct. 42.5 is our thing, okay. Many of these states are behind Indian average, but ours is clearly ahead when it comes to innovation. Next, number of mobile connections per 100 persons, okay. So number of mobile connections per 100 persons. How many of you have 2 phones? Any of you have 2 phones? Nobody has 2 phones. Very good. Okay. Adike, exactly you have 100 here. Okay. So ಇದೇ ಏನಾದರೂ ಗುಜರಾತಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೇಳಿದರೆ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ 22% would have told yes, I have 2 phones. Okay. So over here there is almost in Tamil Nadu also it's just about 101. ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬರ ಹತ್ರ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಫೋನ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯಾರ ಹತ್ರ ಫೋನ್ ಇಲ್ವೋ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರೋ ಹತ್ರ 2 ಫೋನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಅಪ್, ಓಕೆ, ಫಾರ್ ದ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಫೋನ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್, it will be this thing. Okay, this is called as tele-density. It is a very important factor when it comes to establishing the progress in manufacturing sector. Okay, idadmele internet subscription, you can see that Karnataka is 69.83, and for some reason I don't know why Punjab people use a lot of internet, right? Okay. Don't get any wrong ideas. Okay, so next one, the score or rank, okay, which is the total thing in all of these, is 72, 71, 69, 64, 55 and 100. We'll pray for him. Dirghayushman Baba. Okay. He needs it, I think. Huh. Okay, yeah, you were telling something. Okay. Little better now. So now this SDG India index, it categorizes the states into some headings. Okay, now what are these headings? 0 to 100, okay, ranking kodtare. Ee 100 anta bandre, then this particular state is called as achiever. Complete ag 100 ಏನಾದರೂ ಅಚೀವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಲೈಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಸಡಕ್ ಯೋಜನಾ ವಿ ಅಚೀವ್ಡ್, ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ 100. ಇಫ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಲೆಸ್ಸರ್ ದೆನ್ 100, we call it as a front runner. Little lesser than 100 means how much? From 65 to 99. Okay, we call this as 100. Now there is something which you have to notice. Okay, In the economic survey, they have given this SDG India index, they have given this particular, this thing only. But this is 2 years old. Now, depending on how they ask the question, okay, you have to answer. If they tell you, if they mention this word economic survey and they ask you what is the ranking of Karnataka, are we a front runner or are we a performer? Performer andre 50 to 64. 50 to 64 is what we would call as performer. So when we see a performer 50 to 64, if you see here, we will be performer according to the data which is given in economic survey. But the latest data which is come out now this year, Karnataka's ranking has actually improved. Okay, meaning to say that right now we are at 72, which actually makes us a front runner. So the whole distinction here will lie whether they mention this word called economic survey or whether they don't. If they don't, front runner is your answer for Karnataka. If they ask you that economic survey, what have they told, then performer is your this thing. Understood? What will they mention? They will mention SDG India index. I hope that this is clear. Okay? And lesser than that, andre the worst performing states are aspirants. That is 0 to 49. Okay, 0 to 49 is what we call as aspirants. Somewhat seems very demeaning to us, no? Because we are all aspirants. Okay? So, but it's okay. Now no aspirants in the performer agi, performer in the front runner agi, ondina achiever agona. Okay, so this is the thing.
So here, the Indian Innovation Index, right? Karnataka is 42. So is it an aspirant or funded?
No, that is a different index altogether. Okay, I just mentioned this. This is one of the parameter in SDG India index. But over here, Indian Innovation Index is a separate index only. I just explained why we are this high.
No, because there it's written 42 out of 100, right?
Correct.
So does it come under this classification before?
It does come under this classification.
We were front runner.
No. It's not like that. We are only talking about this one. The total one. In the total thing, what is our ranking? Okay? Because these things will not be in absolute terms, it will be in relative terms. So it will vary. But this particular thing is what we are seeing. Okay? Hope that this is clear. Shall we move ahead? Okay. Yeah. I didn't get it. Everything, this latest data is given by Niti Aayog. Okay, here also the data is given by Niti Aayog. But it is just that economic survey when they were doing, they took a older data and did our latest economic survey. But there is newer data which is available right now, which is the central government's data, Niti Aayog's data. Got this? Under that also Karnataka is 6th only. It is just whether ಈ front runner performer ಅಂತ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಒಂದು change ಇದೆ, that is what I mentioned. Okay? Economic survey ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲಾದರೂ ಆ ವರ್ಡ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ that time it will be performer or else it will be front runner only. Okay? Fine. Next. I think by this many Sunday Manthan classes, you will already know the difference between GDP and GSDP, correct? That is nothing but the country will have something called GDP. The state, we don't call it as GDP, we call it as GSDP. Okay, this much you will know. So, GSDP is 4,34,402 crores. Okay, this is the industrial sector GSDP. Got this? Does anyone know what is our state's GSDP? 28 lakh crores. Okay. So this 28 lakh crores is our state's GSDP. In that industrial sector, they are telling that it is contributing to 4,34,402 crores. Is this understood? Okay. So, our growth rate in this particular venture is 7.1%. Okay. Is this clear? Growth rate from last time till now, there has been a growth rate, and this is what we are seeing here. Next one is our contribution to the state GDP. So, contribution to state GDP, industrial sector, that is secondary sector, will contribute 20%. In Karnataka, there is not what we sold in India. In Karnataka, it contributes to 20%. Okay, and manufacturing sector will contribute about 12%. I hope that this is clear. Just data, that's all. Next one is something called as Index of Industrial Production. Now, next thing, we have understood what is SDG India Index. Okay, that is SDG goals ಏನಿದೆಯೋ, it will measure that. Now here, what is told over here is this new index which is called as Index of Industrial Production. Now under this Index of Industrial Production, okay, what is this Index of Industrial Production? See, the whole industrial sector will be there. This index will measure that how all of the industries are performing. That's all. Okay, how all the industries are performing in the economy will be told by one index called as Index of Industrial Production. It couldn't have been more simpler, correct? Now, the base year for Index of Industrial Production is 2011-12. This is something which you have to keep in mind. 2011-12 is the base year for Index of Industrial Production. Now, India stands at 177.7 for November 2023. Okay, this is what is told in our survey. 177.7 in November 2023. Okay, this is where our ranking is. Okay, now next question. Who will give Index of Industrial Production? Anyone can tell me? Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Which department? NSO, that's correct. Okay, first it was CSO, now it is NSO. Okay, they will give Index of Industrial Production. Is this clear? What is the base year which we just discussed? 2011-12. Okay, everybody is clear here? Okay. Now, there will be two kinds of categorization when it comes to IIP. But before this, you have to understand something called as 8 core industries, which is there. Have you guys heard of this? 8 core industries. Many times a UPSC question has cropped up on this. Okay. So what is this 8 core industries? It basically tells that there are 8 sectors in the economy. In the total 100% of all of the industries production, just 8 sectors will contribute to 40% of the production. Is this clear? There are 100%, all the industries together will make up 100%, but just 8 sectors will make up 40% of the total production. This is called as 8 core industries. Why core? Because this is has maximum weightage in the amount of industries output which is given. Okay. Now, sometimes you will be asked a question to arrange in ascending order, in descending order, things like this. Okay. So, first our objective is to learn what are these industries. Next, we will see what is it in ascending order, what is it in descending order. Okay. So, very, very simple. Okay, never mind. See, the first sector is petroleum refineries. Petroleum refineries. Okay. Second one, electricity. What are we basically seeing? We are seeing what are those 8 core industries which make up the bulk, which make up 40% of the total industry's production. This is what we are seeing. Okay, second one, electricity. Third is steel. Okay, fourth, coal. Fifth one, cement. Next one is, I'm sorry, not cement. Next one, crude oil. Okay. After this, cement. Fertilizer. Okay. Okay. Sixth one, natural gas. Seventh, cement. Eighth is fertilizers. Okay. So this is the 8 core industries. Okay. Petroleum refineries, electricity, steel, coal, crude oil, natural gas, cement and fertilizers. These are the 8 core industries which make up the total of 40% weightage. Okay. I hope that this is clear. Now you can remember that now this is in descending order. Descending order means from maximum weightage to less weightage. Okay. So you can remember this with this small mnemonic. You guys know, you're all from Bangalore, means you would have at least heard of PES College. Okay. So PES College. Okay. So remember this. There was in PES College, you've seen that it's a very big campus and all. Ali crude oil siktante. Okay. So crude oil. A crude oil hogi inge flow ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, okay, what is automatically released? Natural gas is automatically released. ಇದು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ, ಓಕೆ, ವಾಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ದೇ ಡೂ? ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬಾರ್ದು, ನಾವೇ ಸೀಕ್ರೆಟಾಗಿ ಹಾರ್ನೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತ, ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗಿಡ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೆಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸರ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? PES. Okay, PES means petroleum refinery, electricity, steel, okay, and coal, crude oil, natural gas, cement and fertilizers. All of you are clear? This is the 8 core industries. Okay, ಎಷ್ಟು percent in the total index of industrial production will be there? 40%. Okay, who will give this? NSO. Okay, everybody are clear, I hope. ಹೋಯ್ತು, ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರೆಯೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಸ್ ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಹರ್ ರೈಟ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ವೇಟೇಜ್? Petroleum refineries. Second, electricity. Third, steel. Fourth, coal. Fifth one, crude oil. Sixth, natural gas. Seventh, eighth. ಇವಾಗ ನೀವು ಉಲ್ಟಾ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಅಸೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಡರ್, ಕಡಿಮೆ ವೇಟೇಜಿಂದ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ವೇಟೇಜ್ವರೆಗೂ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್, ಅಸೆಂಡಿಂಗ್, ಆ ಥರ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹುಷಾರಾಗಿರಬೇಕು. ನೋಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ, ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ವೆನ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎನ್ ಈಸಿ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್, ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟಾಗಿ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. there is always a hint there is always a catch there. ಓಕೆ, ಕಷ್ಟ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಟೈಮ್ ತೊಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಏನಕ್ಕಂದರೆ ಓವರ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಈಸಿ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಟೈಮ್ ತೊಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಏನಕ್ಕಂದರೆ ಟಕ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ದ ಗೋಲ್ಡನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ರಿಯಲೈಸಿಂಗ್, ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಜೀವನದ ಸತ್ಯ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಬಟ್ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಯು ಥಿಂಕ್ ದಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಟ್ರೂ? ಓಕೆ, ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ಟು ಯು ಗೈಸ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಸ್ ಯು ಹವ್ ರಿಟನ್? Okay, many times. Okay, so iವಾಗ at least the first step of solving a problem is understanding that there is a problem. We have understood that there is a problem. Next time ಹುಷಾರಾಗಿರ್ತೀವಿ, at least for the easy questions, right? ಓಕೆ, ಇವಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಉಲ್ಟಾ ಹೇಳಬೇಕು, ಅಂದರೆ ಕಡಿಮೆಯಿಂದ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ. ಗಾಟ್ ಇಟ್? ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ಟೆಲ್ ಮೀ ಫ್ರಮ್ increasing order, what will come first? Fertilizer. Next? Cement. Next? Natural gas. Next? 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 Super. Okay? ಇವಾಗ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗೋಣ. Got it? ಇವಾಗ ಈ ಇಂಡೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಥರ ವಿ ಸಿ ದಟ್ ದೆರ್ ಇಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರೈಸೇಷನ್ಸ್. One is called as broad-based categorization, okay? One more is called as used-based categorization or classification. Broad-based classification, use-based classification. Got this? Broad-based classification alli one second, let me just figure this out. Sorry, broad-based classification is ಬ್ರಾಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. MEN. ಬ್ರಾಡ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಮೈನಿಂಗು, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿ, ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್. ಬ್ರಾಡ್, ಮೆಮ್. ಓಕೆ, ಬ್ರಾಡ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಮೆಮ್ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. MEM ಅಂದರೆ ಮೈನಿಂಗ್, ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿ, ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ಮೂರೂ ಬ್ರಾಡ್ ಬೇಸ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಇಂಡೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ. ಗಾಟ್ ಇಟ್? ಅದೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದಷ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದೀಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಜನರಲಿ ಯೂಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ next one is capital goods. Okay, capital goods is initial what we use, okay, which will be, yes, okay, capital goods is initially what we use, okay, for it to be generated as part of plant and machinery. Okay, it will be used for production purpose. Next one is intermediate goods. Intermediate goods are those feeder goods which will become final products later. Okay, infrastructure or construction goods. Okay, now infrastructure or construction goods is generally the goods which are used for the goods which are used for construction purpose, for any infrastructure purpose, like for example iron and steel, cement, these kind of things. Next, consumer durables, consumer non-durables. Okay, consumer non-durables means that which is perishable in nature. Consumer durables means that which is non-perishable in nature. Is this clear? Okay, durables means consumer non-durables means it is perishable in nature. Consumer durables means it is non-perishable or it will perish little later. That is the actual meaning of it. Like for example, we buy some particular product. Okay, if it is going to get spoiled within 1 day, 2 day, it is non-durable. If it's going to be there for some time, like you buy a car, you buy not a car per se, let's say you buy some kind of a chips packet. Okay, that will be there for 2 months even if you keep. Okay, it will not be healthy. Some of you will keep eating while studying, but it will still be this thing. Some of you will eat fried items called soya chunks and all. That is even more. Okay, but anyways, so consumer non-durables. Okay. Next one is organized manufacturing sector. Okay, so ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಥರ, ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ಡ್, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನಾನ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ಡ್ ಆರ್ ಅನ್ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ಡ್ ರಾದರ್. ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ಡ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಸಮ್ ಲೈಸೆನ್ಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಸಮ್ ದಿಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ, unorganized means it is not registered. Like some Ajji will be making agarbatti in one house, that is unregistered. Registered means they will take some license, they will take some this thing and they will run it. That is registered. Got this? So this is what is the difference between organized manufacturing sector and unorganized manufacturing sector. Now under this, the the first thing will give us information as to how many factories in Karnataka are registered. Okay, andre ivaga you imagine yourself as an AC, you should know that Karnataka what is the, because I am going to give administration, I should know how many factories are there in my state which is recognized, which is registered, correct? So total of 5.75% of the total registered factories in the country are there in 2019-20 in Karnataka. Is this clear? Karnataka ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಫುಲ್ಲು 100%, ಅಂದರೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕಲ್ಲಿ 5% ಅಪ್ರಾಕ್ಸಿಮೇಟ್ಲಿ ಆರ್ 6% ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. 5.75, ಅಯ್ಯೋ KPSC ರಂಗು ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, 5.75% ಓನ್ಲಿ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಓಕೆ, 5.75% ಓನ್ಲಿ ಇಸ್ ದ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಕಂಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಟು ಟೋಟಲ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಅಂದರೆ Karnataka plus Tamil Nadu plus Andhra Pradesh plus Telangana plus Haryana plus Punjab plus every other state equals 100%. Karnataka alone is 5.75% of what? Of the amount of registered factories. Is this clear? Next one, we see that the key major industrial groups in the registered factory, the major industrial groups in the registered factory sector of Karnataka accounted for more than 7.2%. There is 7.2%, don't write 72%. 7.2% of the total value of output in 2019-20. Okay. So that means to say that ಎಷ್ಟು percent of total factories ಇದೆ? 5.75. But 7.2% ಬಂದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ರೀಸ್ 5%, 5.75% ಇದ್ರೂ ವೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್ ಟು ದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ಬೀಂಗ್ ಜನರೇಟೆಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ 7%. ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇರೋ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ರೀಸ್ಗಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ನಾವು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತ. ಗಾಟ್ ದಿಸ್? ಸೊ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಗುಡ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್. ಓಕೆ, okay, we'll just quickly go through this. It's just information. Okay, so according to the annual survey of industries, okay, this is one particular thing, annual survey of industries, the contribution of registered factories of Karnataka stood at 6.18% of the total fixed capital. Do you guys know what is fixed capital? What is fixed capital? Anyone? Fixed capital, variable capital, working capital. Anyone? So total fixed capital means how much, for example, this chairs, this particular podium, this board, this camera, this is all what is called as fixed capital, which is used for running the business. The amount of capital which is used for taking care, like for example paying me, paying the staff here, this is all called as operational, paying the person who cleans, this is all called operational capital, okay, for running the place. Understood this? So the contribution of registered factories of Karnataka stood at 6.18% of total fixed capital. 6.18% of what? Of the total states. 6.2% of the total output and 7.16% of the gross value added. Okay, that is not necessarily 7.2%. avagale helitara. Next, the total registered factories in Karnataka ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ? 2018 ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 2020. ಓಕೆ, ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಸರ್ವೆ ಇಸ್ ಕೋಟಿಂಗ್ 2-3 years ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಡೇಟಾ, ಸೊ ವಿ ಕಾಂಟ್ ಡೂ ಮಚ್. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್, however, relative contribution of Karnataka's registered factory to national industrial performance in terms of total input and total output has marginally decreased. Okay, so in other aspects like ಎಷ್ಟು ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮೆನ್ಸ್ ಹೇಗಿದೆ, ಟೋಟಲ್ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್, ಟೋಟಲ್ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್, ಇದೆಲ್ಲನೂ ನಾವು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಓಕೆ, ವಿ ಸಿ ದಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮಾರ್ಜಿನಲಿ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಲುಕ್ ಎಟ್ ದಿಸ್, ಓಕೆ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಲುಕ್ ಎಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಗ್ರಾಫ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸೀಮ್ ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಕೇರಿ ನೀವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಬಟ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ನಥಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ, ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಐ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಯು ಟು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ಸ್, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟೆಲ್ ದಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ. ಗಾಟ್ ಇಟ್? ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಓವರ್ ಹಿಯರ್ we have Karnataka's share, we have India's share. Here also we have Karnataka's share and India's share. We have a comparison here. Okay, and over here the number of industries illige ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಿದೆ? Is it increased or decreased? Increased. When it comes to fixed capital, has it increased or decreased? It's increased. When it comes to working capital, has it increased or decreased? It's increased or decreased, guys? Increased. 7.6, 8.4. Increased, no? Next one. Total output, has it increased or decreased? Tell me again. Decreased. Why? 2420. Correct? Next one. We see total input, has it increased or decreased? Decreased. 6.11. So even though very marginally, but still it has decreased. Okay. When it comes to the value which is being added, has it increased or decreased? Increased. Okay. When it comes to the net value added, see, gross value added, net value added. I am sure already you know what is the difference between GDP and NDP. The difference is depreciation. Okay. Sorry, GDP, NDP, GNP, NNP, the difference is mainly depreciation. No? Here also it's the same thing. Okay. Depreciation, if you do, you will get this. So when it comes to gross value added, we are not accounting depreciation there. When it comes to net value added, we are accounting depreciation there. Got it? Okay, so overall if you see the profit, we see that it has overall increased. Okay. Next one. Correct. This is the data which they have only stated. Okay. So we have to see, maybe some other data will come. Correct. It's right, but it's not in our hands. If Karnataka government is like that, what can we do? Okay. But okay. Hopefully they don't ask. That is all we can say. Okay. But fine. Next one is the amount of this thing, that is the key indicators of registered factories, okay, which is Karnataka and all India. Okay. So there are some key indicators which we see, which are very important when we see the registered factory sector. Like we saw that in the total of 100%, how much percentage of factories are registered from Karnataka? 5.75%, correct? In that 5.75%, these industries, what we are going to mention, will constitute the bulk of that 5.75%. Got this, everyone? The industries which we are mentioning here will constitute the bulk of that 5.75% of the amount of factories which are registered over here. So, manufacture of food products, okay, is number one, 15%. You don't. Second one is manufacture of basic metals, 14%. Next, manufacture of coke and refined petroleum products, which is 12.4%. Manufacture of motor vehicle, trailers and semi-trailers, 6.74%. Manufacture of machinery and equipment, 5.78%. Manufacture of chemical and chemical products is 5.53%. Manufacture of electrical equipments is 4.7%. Next one is manufacture of wearing apparels, that is nothing but clothes. Okay. So here these 8 groups together accounted for more than 72%. Like that time what we saw for full India, 40%. Here in this 5.75%, these 8 industries will in Karnataka, this 8 industries only. 8 industries are maximum irodu. This constitutes 72% of the total production which happens in Karnataka. Okay. Now, how can you remember these 8 industries? Just imagine that you are eating some roll, shawarma. You guys like shawarma? Ilva? Okay. So imagine you are eating that. What is shawarma? Food only, no? Okay. On ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹಿಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ, ಟಕ್ ಅಂತ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಮೆಟಲ್ ಫೀಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಲೈಕ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಹಿಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಗಾಡಿ, ಓಕೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಫೀಲ್ ಸಮ್ ಮೆಟಲ್, ಓಕೆ, ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಮೆಟಲ್. ನೌ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ ಸಡನ್ಲಿ ಲೈಕ್ ಪ್ಯಾಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಒಂಥರ ಪೆಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಕರೆ, ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಪೆಟ್ರೋಲಿಯಂ ರಿಫೈನರಿ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಓಕೆ. ಇದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಿದು ಅಂತ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹಿಂದೆ ತಿರುಗಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್, ಓಕೆ, ಮೋಟರ್ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್. ಗಾಟ್ ಇಟ್, ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಮೋಟರ್ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ ಯಾರಪ್ಪ ಇದು ಅಂತ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ full machine is making full voice. Okay, so machinery and equipment is coming next. Okay, idadmele that person will go fast like this, then full chemical will be released on your face. Okay, so chemical and chemical products will come next. Okay, but ಈ ಸ್ಮೋಕಿಂಗ್ ಬರೋವಾಗ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್, ಸಮ್ ಈ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಅಪೆರಲ್, ಈ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಫುಲ್ ಒಂಥರ ಬೆಂಕಿ ಥರ ಫುಲ್ಲು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಪವರ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ ವುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬೀನ್ ಡ್ರೈವಿಂಗ್ ದರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಫುಲ್ ಬೆಂಕಿ. ಸೊ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಯು ಸಿ ದಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬಟ್ಟೆ ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಫುಲ್ಲು ಗಲೀಜಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ, ವೇರಿಂಗ್ ಅಪೆರಲ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪಿಕ್ಚರೈಸ್ ದಿಸ್, ಓಕೆ, ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಅವರ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಡನ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ತಿಂತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ? ಫುಡ್. So first is food product. Okay, after that basic metal. Okay, adadmele next what happened here? Kare refinery, petroleum refinery product. Okay, idadmele what did we see there? Motor vehicle. Okay, after that what is there? What is this? What sound came? Machine sound came. So machinery. Okay, idadmele aur munde hodmele full chemical ella nammel bittu, chemical and chemical products. Okay, after this, because of this, full electrical sparks and all started flying, electrical equipment. Next one, your batte got full galeej. Okay, that is wearing apparel. Got this? Okay, now let's try to recollect. What is the first one? Food products. Okay, next, basic metals. Third one, petroleum refinery products. Fourth one, motor vehicle. Oh, motor vehicle. Amele fifth, machinery. Okay, next sixth, come again, chemicals. Seventh, electrical. Eighth, apparels, clothing apparels. Okay, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸರಿ this is totally, ಈ 8 things is how much percent? 72% of what? Of the amount of industries which are there. Okay, of how much of industries are registered? 5.75. These 8 things are there. Which one has the maximum weightage? First one, food product. Second one, third one. Okay, very good. Fourth one, fifth one, sixth, seventh, eighth. Okay, ಒಂದು 2 ಸರಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆದ್ರೂ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪಕ್ಕದವ್ರು ಇರೋರು ಏನಾದರೂ ತಪ್ಪಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಕ್ಕಿದ್ರೂ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಫ್. ಓಕೆ, ಏನೂ ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. 1 ಸರಿ 2 ಸರಿ 3 ಸತಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಲಾಸ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಪಾಸ್ ಆದರೆ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಲ್ ದಟ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತು, ನಮ್ಮ ಪಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲೇ ಕೂತ್ಕೊತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿತ್ತು ಅವ್ರು ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಪೀಪಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಯೂಶಲಿ ಟೆಲ್ ದಟ್. ಸೊ ಯೂಶಲಿ ಯು ನೋ ದಟ್ success has a very big family. Only failure is an orphan, right? Nobody will come, but it's okay. So the thing how memory works is that ನೀವೇ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ವಾಯ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಜೋರಾಗಿ ತಪ್ಪಾಗೋ ಸರಿಯಾಗೋ ಏನೋ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಗುಂಪಲ್ಲಿ ಗೋವಿಂದ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಬಿಟ್ರೆ, ಓಕೆ, ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಟೆನ್ ಟು ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ಮಚ್ ಬೆಟರ್ ಲೇಟರ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ವಾಯ್ಸ್, ಯುವರ್ ಇಯರ್ಸ್, ವೆನ್ ಯು ಹಿಯರ್ ಯುವರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಯುವರ್ ಇಯರ್, ಯು ವಿಲ್ become better. Okay, right. So if we look at this, okay, they've given some data over here with respect to Karnataka and India. Again, Karnataka and India, Karnataka and India. Okay, so over here we totally see that how it has improved. Okay, when we come to Karnataka and India, when we compare the labor productivity, when it comes to labor productivity, okay, I understand that it's a concern. Even I also had this, that I was like, idenidu hale data ella kottidare hengidu anta. Even I also had this. I called them, they were like, ide irod sir, what do we do? I was like, hosa data enu hudkakagalva. They asked me whether you think we are Karnataka government. Then I was like, aithu, okay, but at least eno on andaj at least sigutte. For that little bit you try to pay attention. Okay, so labor productivity, net value which was added per rupee, okay, in wages. Net value per rupee andre ₹1 ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, okay, ಒಂದು ಲೇಬರರ್ in Karnataka will make it how many rupees anta. Okay, understood this? Labor productivity means if I am going to spend ₹1 on a particular process and give it to a laborer, that person is going to make its value into how many rupees. That is what we are seeing by labor productivity. Is this clear? Okay. So over here, if in case we give a laborer in Karnataka who is essentially a Bihari, you should not tell like that, but okay. So he will make it a 5.27. 5.27 he will increase it ಅಂದರೆ 5 times the value. 1 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 5 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ಲೇಬರರ್ ಹತ್ರ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ. He will increase the value with that much. Do you understand how value increase works? ಇವಾಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಒಂದು ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ವೀಟ್ ತೊಗೊತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಓಕೆ, ವಿತೌಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಯು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಬೈ ದಟ್ ವೀಟ್. ಇವಾಗ ದೆನ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ದಟ್ ವೀಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡೂ ವಿನೋಯಿಂಗ್, ಶಾಫ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಪುಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ಒನ್ ಗೋಣಿ ಚೀಲ. ಆ ವೀಟ್ಗೂ ಈ ವೀಟ್ಗೂ ವಿಚ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸಿವ್? This wheat is more expensive. Why? Because value was added to this, correct? Okay, now when you take this and if you make chapati out of it or if you make bread out of it, you will see that which is more costly, this goni chila liro wheat or the bread, which is more costly? Bread is more costly when you compare it to how much of wheat is being used now. Why? Because value is being added to it. If you take that bread and make one sandwich, if you give it to one mallu cheta in one bakery, okay, he will make it in one bread butter jam and he will sell it to you. Okay, now bread, directly buying bread is more costly or that onchur jam butter hakotre, that is more costly? Okay, for all the posh people, Subway log tindre. Okay, so which one is more costly? Subway is more costly. Enakke value was increased to it. Ivago, it's very similar here also, that for every 1 rupee which is spent, how much of value is being increased? Okay. So here, if you give it to one laborer in Karnataka, he will increase it to 5.27. But is he better? Okay, in the latest thing, it was about 4.94. But is he better than the Indian average? No. Indian average is actually they are actually doing better work than Karnataka. Got it? If you see the total input for workers, that means how much you are spending for laborers. That is the input. How much you are spending for laborers. It is, if the Karnataka average is 53.64, okay, and in India it is 57.42, okay. Next one, total output 66.32, Indian average 68.79. One laborer, one karmika, he will get 2 lakhs per year, okay, annually he will get 2,11,000 per year. But bari id matra Karnataka laborers are costly anta gottagta ide. Even though overall input kadme, output kadme, labor productivity kadme idruno compared to Indian average, one thing which is there is that they are earning more than what they are earning in Bihar or any other place. Adakke ellaru il barodu. Got this? Everyone? Okay, so there it would be 1,75,000. Here it is 2,09,961. Okay. Next, we come to this important sector, which is MSME. MSME means micro, small, medium enterprises. Micro, small, medium enterprises. Okay. So micro, small, medium enterprises means it's a particular sector in manufacturing. Okay, like that time we told, which is based on size of this thing. There is large, medium, small and micro. These are the 4 things. But apart from large and mega, okay, medium, small, micro can be categorized as one heading, which is called as MSME. Now, what is this MSME can also have different definitions. Okay, but according to the latest definition, which is given by Indian government, a micro enterprise is anything which has a total investment of 1 crore and a turnover of 5 crores. Okay, this is what is called as micro industry. Okay, so under micro industry, what is the thing? 1 crore investment irbeku, 5 crores turnover irbeku. Okay, ಈ ಎರಡೂ criteria fulfill ಆದರೆ then it is called as a micro industry. Got this? 1 crore investment, 5 crore turnover, micro industry. Okay, so 1 crore 10 times ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 10 crore. Okay. So 5 crore 10 times madidre 50 crore. That is what is called as a small industry. Okay. So 10 crore investment, 50 crore turnover idre, it is called as a small industry. Is this understood? Ivaga next. Medium enterprise andre ivaga 50 crore 5 times madidre eshtagutte 250 crore and 10 crore 5 times madidre 50 crore, correct? Okay, so over here we see that medium enterprises are those which has 50 crore investment and 250 crore turnover. Is this fine, everyone? So it's actually very, very simple. Okay, between micro, small and medium, okay, this is 1 crore 5 crore, this is how much? 10 crore 50 crore, this is 50 crore 250 crore. Okay, this is into 10, this is into 5. Everybody are clear? Okay, so this is the definition of MSME. Okay, now why is this so important, MSME? Okay, does it have a lot of job employment opportunities? Can it generate a lot of jobs? You might get this question. So my answer is yes, definitely it has a huge job generating, employment generating potential. Okay, see, I've asked you this already, but how much population is there in India? 142 crore. Now in that, how many jobs are there in India? How many people have jobs? Raise your hands. Ile count madbedi hange. How many of you have jobs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Very good. Okay. Andre, so many people don't have jobs also. But ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲಸ ಇದೆ. But Indians even ಅಷ್ಟು jobs ಇಲ್ಲ. Okay, how much of jobs is there? Only 11 crore jobs are there in India total. That's all. ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾಕೆ, ಬೇರೆದೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾಕೆ? ಓಕೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಯಾಕೆ? Okay, so in that 11 crore jobs, okay, about 3.6 crore, okay, is generated by MSMEs. So you can see that it has a huge potential for generating jobs. Innu MSME ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ it can easily we can generate jobs. Okay, ಇವಾಗ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ಲೂ ಜಾಬ್ಸ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಸರ್ವಿಸಸಲ್ಲೂ ಜಾಬ್ಸ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. We can generate jobs in services also, in agriculture also. But in agriculture we are seeing that productivity is very low. We wanted to progress, ಏನಕ್ಕಂದರೆ ಊಟ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇರೆ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. Okay, ಊಟ is very important, but it is productivity in GDP is very low there. Services ಹೊರಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ನಾವು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬರಬೇಕು, ಅವ್ರು ಬರಬೇಕು, ಇವ್ರು ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟ್ರೂಲಿ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್? ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಸ್ಕೇಲ್ಗೆ ಲಾರ್ಜ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಬೇಕು. ತುಂಬ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಜನ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಜಾಬ್ಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ MSME ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್. ಮತ್ತು ತುಂಬ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಜಾಬ್ಸೂ ಜನ್ರೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸೆಕ್ಟರಿಂದ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ MSMEs are very important. Okay, so in this there are a lot of schemes, okay, but due to paucity of time will not go in that direction. But nevertheless, see, government of Karnataka has announced policies like there are 3 policies which you have to know, which is mentioned. The first one is called as new industrial policy. Okay, so my god, everybody is like ನನ್ನ ಮನಸ್ಸು ನಮಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಏನಂತೀರಾ? Okay, so fine. So government of Karnataka has announced policies like these 3 policies: new industrial policy 2020-2025, okay, and new textile and garment policy. ಇದು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು policy ಹೆಸರು, which will basically give a boost to employment, okay, and MSMEs. Third one is Industries Facilitation Amendment Act. Okay, so these are some acts, policies which is there drafted by government of Karnataka. Okay, so these names of these 3 policies are very important from the mains perspective. If you quote them, you will get more marks. Okay, so we'll take half minute to just memorize these 3 things. New industrial policy, new textile and garment policy, Industries Facilitation Amendment Act. Okay, so take 10 seconds and after that I want you all to try telling this. I'll move to another slide. Okay, in ಮೂರನ್ನು just ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. New industrial policy, new textile and garment policy, Industries Facilitation Amendment Act. Okay, time starts now, 20 seconds. Done? ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲ, just three names, that's all. Tell me, what are the 3 policy names? Number 1, second, very good, third one, ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Okay, so the objective of this is that it will be very basic generic stuff. Okay, obviously if MSMEs and all will increase, what will happen? Nam GSDP ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ದುಡ್ಡು, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ GSDP. Next one, because MSMEs are a part of manufacturing sector, obviously that will also increase. Okay, for people who have not written mains, okay, let me just tell you, this is how it works. Okay, ಹೇಳಿದ್ದನ್ನೇ ಬೇರೆ 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 ಥರ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದರೆ 7 ನಿಮಿಷದಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರೆಯೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅಡಿಷನ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ದೇರ್, ಬಟ್ ಇದು ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ಕೋಬಾರ್ದು. ಇಫ್ ದಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ರೈಟ್ ದಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ GSDP, ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗೇ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಿಡಬಾರ್ದು. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ದಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ಗಾಟ್ ಇಟ್? Generate additional employment, we have already seen how much employment it generates. Promote diversified industrial base to reduce regional imbalances. Okay, definitely regional imbalances will be reduced to a very big extent because MSMEs can be there everywhere, even in a rural place they can do this. So it will promote overall centers of development, it will address the regional imbalances, increase the share of exports from Karnataka. Okay, so next is certain things which the government wants to do to improve manufacturing in general and MSME in particular. Okay, what all are the steps which government is taking? Usually till now, if in case question has to come, it will come on this. Okay, it's important area, I am telling this. Okay, if you have to put a star mark in all the notes you have written today, this will be it. So here Government of India has launched something called as Udyam Shakti portal. Okay, and according to this Udyam Shakti portal, usually 11.76 lakh units were generated. Is to 11.76 lakh units were generated. If you want, you can write down. Okay, I will tell you some extra statistics. 11.76 lakh units were registered in this Udyam Shakti portal. Okay, and under this it resulted 11.6 lakh idu units register ಆಗಿದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ 108 lakh jobs were created. Understood this? 108 lakh jobs were created. Okay, 11.6 lakh units. Units ಅಂದರೆ how much, ಇವಾಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಸಮ್ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್, ಅವರು ಒಂದು ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಲಿ ಒಂದು ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಉದ್ಯಮ್ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್. ಅವ್ರು ಹೋಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾರೆ, ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ದೆಮ್ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಸೊ ಪೀಪಲ್, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಅ bridge between job seekers and job providers. Got this? Job seekers and job providers. ಯಾರು ಜಾಬ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು, ಯಾರು ಜಾಬ್ ಹುಡುಕ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ, ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ದೆಮ್ಸೆಲ್ಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯಾರು ಜಾಬ್ ಬೇಕು, ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಗೋ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಿ ಹಿಯರ್. ಓಕೆ, ನಾವು ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್? 108 lakh jobs will be created. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್ ದಿಸ್? ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಉದ್ಯಮ್ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಇನಿಷಿಯೇಟಿವ್. ಬರೀ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಜಾಬ್ಸ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಅಫ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಪೀಪಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ದರ್. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, if you look at this, 712 large and mega industries are working with 2.95 lakh crore capital investment, providing employment opportunities to 5.10 lakh people. Okay, so this is something called Karnataka government, it is planning to construct something called as KHIR city. Okay, KHIR city, it will be near Kempegowda International Airport. Okay, it's like a whole city itself. So what does this KHIR stand for? Okay, this KHIR stands for knowledge, okay, healthcare, innovation, okay, and research. So this city will be creating 80,000 jobs with 40,000 crore investment. Very big project. 40,000 crore, 40,000 ಕೋಟಿ invest ಮಾಡಿ 80,000 jobs will be created in this particular city project. It's a very big thing. It will be coming near our Kempegowda International Airport. Okay, so next one is something called as Invest Karnataka Forum. Okay, Invest Karnataka Forum. So under this Invest Karnataka Forum, there will be 9 dedicated vision groups. Okay, Invest Karnataka Forum, 9 dedicated vision groups. Okay, is this clear? So ಏನಿದು ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಫೋರಮ್ ಅಂದರೆ ನಥಿಂಗ್, ದಿಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಒನ್ ಫೋರಮ್. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊತಾರೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಅವಾಗ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಔಟ್ಸೈಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೇ, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ, ಯು ಆರ್ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ, ವಿ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಯು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ, ಬಟ್ ವೇರ್ ಡು ವಿ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಯು? ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಲ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ 9 ವಿಷನ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಲ್, ಓ ವೆರಿ ನೈಸ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ. ಸೊ 9 ವಿಷನ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್ ಯಾವುದು? ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ದೋಸ್ 9 ವಿಷನ್ ಏರಿಯಾಸ್? ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದೇರ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಲ್, ಸಿ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅವರ್ HAL airport. Okay, full aerospace defense, super. Their Tejas aircraft will be standing there, and so you can come invest there. Okay, aerospace and defense, first one. Second one, machine tools. Okay, so here this is part of the core industry. Core industry means that industry which supplies equipment for other industries. Machine tools. Third one, electronics, ESD ಅಂದರೆ electronic system design, okay, and manufacturing, ESDM. So next one is pharma. Okay, pharma means it's a small thing. Okay, next to core manufacturing is again wider concept. Okay, automotive, electrical vehicles. Now you know that we are part of something called FAME and NMEEP and everything, right? Okay, have you heard of something called YK Malik Committee? ಸೊ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಫಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಅಡಾಪ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹೈಬ್ರಿಡ್ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಡು ಯು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಗುಡ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಅ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್, ಡು ಯು ಥಿಂಕ್ ದಟ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೆಸ್ ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಟಿಂಗ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ದ ಫ್ಯೂಲ್, diesel petrol vehicles? Electricity is less polluting or more polluting or same polluting? Less polluting? More? Same? How many of you feel less? Let's take a vote. ಯಾರು ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೂ ಕೈ ಎತ್ತಲ್ವೋ ಅವ್ರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ರೈಸ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್. ಲೆಸ್ ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಟಿಂಗ್, ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಕೈ ಎತ್ತಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದರೆ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಡ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇವಾಗ. ಮೋರ್ ಪೊಲ್ಯೂಟಿಂಗ್, About the same, more or less. ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಜನ ನೋಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀರಿ ಇವಾಗ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಓಕೆ ಫೈನ್ ಸೊ in this see it's more or less the same okay and let me explain why right now in this stage of our energy mix okay in this stage of our energy mix we still get maximum energy from thermal power plants okay so this thermal power plants is getting burnt okay to make this battery storage so here it might not be polluting anything but to make this battery there it is generating a lot of smoke generates a lot of smoke okay so but the only thing is any transition will take time correct any transition will take time meaning to say overnight we will not change off everybody into electric vehicles it's not going to happen that way so our energy mix from the past 10 years only has gradually gone on where the renewable energy has increased and non-renewable energy has decreased there will come a time right now we have a lot of coal to have coal and not use it is stupidity so we are trying to use it there will come a time where we switch to renewable energy and that time we would have already made the transition where a lot of electrical vehicles would have come that time it will actually become non-polluting got this everyone anyways so electric vehicles next one industry 5.0 industry 5.0 is all of this amazing new technology which we see in today's helm like for example artificial intelligence, robotics, virtual reality, augmented reality, nanotechnology, edge computing, okay, internet of things, quantum computing, okay, all of these things, artificial intelligence, okay, so these things are all called as industry 5.0. You guys know what is industry 1, 2, 3, 4, no? Okay, so this is industry 5.0, this is also, we are asking everybody to invest in this. Do you guys know how artificial intelligence works? Of course, I am not asking what is artificial intelligence, but there is something which gives it intelligence, no? What gives it intelligence? One semiconductor chip, okay? That is what gives artificial intelligence, okay? So, if we manufacture a lot of semiconductor chips, that means that automatically what is going to happen? Artificial intelligence will take lead. Now, Modi ji is asking so many people, South Korea, Japan, to come into India and manufacture semiconductor chips. When this starts happening, what will automatically happen? We will automatically start progressing in Industry 5.0. Because if you see most of these things, augmented reality, virtual reality, edge computing, etc., etc., most of these things are all what you would call as based on artificial intelligence only as the basic thing. Right? What is that based on? Semiconductor manufacturing. If that is manufactured in India, automatically everything else will take place. Next is green energy. Okay, with all of the climate change, global warming, COP conferences, everything happening, we see that basically Invest Karnataka Forum will try to bring investments into all of these areas. And by bringing in investment to all these areas, automatically you see that it is going to improve. Right? Next one. Government of Karnataka, there is something, you might get this question, which was the first state to announce the policy for electric vehicle policy, okay, it is Karnataka, remember this, Karnataka, or you might get it as a statement question also, okay, anyways, just know this fact, that government of Karnataka was the first in the whole country to announce electric vehicle policy 2017, got this, okay, it was the first in the whole country, andre we thought green before India thought green, correct? As part of its measure to transform the state into green mobility hub. Green mobility hub means what? Green mobility hub means where all the vehicles, most of the vehicles would be electric vehicles or hybrid vehicles, okay? The government unveiled a revised draft for clean mobility policy, okay? So you might ask that ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, okay? ಏನಕ್ಕಂದ್ರೆ if we progress faster, it is like which state tells that we are a green state. ಇವಾಗ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ಸ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ವಾರ್ಮಿಂಗು, ಕ್ಲೈಮೇಟ್ ಚೇಂಜ್, ಅದು ಇದು. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಒನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಎಫರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಲ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಗ್ರೀನ್, that time there will be a lot of foreign investments which will come into our state, Okay, so our politicians, they wanted that investment, and immediately they told that we are a green state, we are a green mobility state. Now what happened because of that? How much of investments are we attracting? 50,000 crores. Got it? For 50,000 crores we are getting because we have come up with a green mobility policy. Is this clear, everyone? So remember, 50,000 crores, clean mobility plan, green mobility. Green mobility is nothing but going from one place to another place. Karnataka is the first state. Next one, Karnataka Udyoga Mitra. Karnataka Udyoga Mitra means we are talking about the employment opportunities. Okay, so what is this Karnataka Udyoga Mitra? It is nothing but it is an investment promotion agency. Investment promotion agency. Udyoga means employment. I am telling that Udyoga Mitra is one investment promotion agency. ಎರಡಕ್ಕೂ ಏನೋ ಮಿಸ್ ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅನ್ಸ್ಬೋದು, ಬಟ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. Because if Udyoga Mitra is promoting investment, people will come and generate factories, will come and generate offices, that will generate jobs. Okay, so it is asking for investment not because it wants money, but because it wants to generate more jobs. So if you go with a proposal where it is creating more jobs, Udyoga Mitra will be your Mitra, or else they will become your Shatru Allah. Okay, so Karnataka Udyoga Mitra, right? Next one, during 23-24, okay, in SLS WCC, okay, SLS WCC ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ತಿರ್ಗಾ ಡೌಟ್ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಏನಿದು ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಆಲ್ಫಾಬೆಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಸಿಂಗಲ್ ವಿಂಡೋ ಕ್ಲಿಯರೆನ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸಮ್ clearance window or something like that. Okay, so state level single window clearance cell, correct, clearance cell. Okay, so 151 projects within, so this state level single window clearance cell, 151 projects with an investment of 11,200 crores, okay, were approved. It is expected to create some 29,000 jobs. Okay, so employment. And state high level clearance committee. Okay, so state high level clearance committee is 14 projects with an investment of 34,114 crores were approved and expected to generate 13,000 employment. Okay, so one thing which you can observe is this single level, this is done by the central government. Okay, this state high level is done by the state government. ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ನೋಟಿಸ್ ದಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್, ಕಡಿಮೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್, ಓಕೆ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ದುಡ್ಡು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಕೆನ್ ಯು ನೋಟಿಸ್ ದಿಸ್? ಓಕೆ, so this is what we see, but you just don't see the numbers, you see there will be a story behind numbers. But this should also tell you something else, that here they are actually looking to generate small level jobs. Okay, even that is also jobs only. Here they are looking to generate services level jobs, okay, of high level jobs. That is why it will be more money. Got this? Here vada pav is also job. Okay, but here going to office is job. ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ನಂಬರಲ್ಲಿ ಇಷ್ಟು ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಇದೆ, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ನೋಡಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್, ಲಿಟಲ್ ಬಿಟ್, ಓಕೆ, ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಡ್. ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ದಿಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ನೌ we are talking about centrally sponsored schemes. Okay, you guys know the difference alva, central sector scheme, central sponsored scheme. Central sector scheme andre eno, it will be given assistance or full. Central sponsored scheme andre here shared andre assistance kodtare, correct? So here central sponsored scheme, there are two things which will come into picture mainly. Okay, here we are but we are just introducing you to the concept first, that is Prime Minister Employment Guarantee Program. Okay, so Prime Minister Employment Guarantee Program will have a subsidy of rupees 92 crores, 92.7 crores, okay, which is spent for 2,517 beneficiaries with bank loan assistance. Now you have to understand what exactly is this Prime Minister Employment Guarantee Program. Okay, see, it's a credit linked subsidy program. Credit linked subsidy program. Now next question is, okay, artha aitu, but sudden agi artha agilla. Andre, I understood what is a credit linked subsidy program, but I don't know what is credit linked subsidy. Don't worry, I'll tell you. Okay, so credit linked subsidy means that they will give you a loan, they will give you credit, and that interest of that particular thing will be very, very subsidized. Okay, why will they give you a loan? Which will they will give you a loan because you have to start something. When you start something, are you getting employment? You might ask. Yes, I am getting employment. It's called self-employment. So here they don't want you to go and work. They want you to be the job providers rather than job seekers. Got this? This is how employment generation program works. Employment guarantee program works. Okay. So you might get that employment means, because this is a traditional notion that employment means I have to go and search somewhere. But here Prime Minister Employment Guarantee Program is trying to make you search for job rather than, make you give job rather than search for job. Okay. Next one, very, very important, is MSc CDP. MSc CDP means, okay, so MSc CDP means medium small enterprises. CDP means cluster development program. Cluster development program. You guys know what is cluster development? Cluster development means, you guys have been to JC Road? JC Road. Like yene bike part beku andrunu, you will go to JC Road, no? Any bike part. Why? If you want helmet, ee angdi illa andre innond angdi, you will definitely get it. If you want some Xerox or something, you will go near Ramaya, you will get for 40 paisa, 30 paisa and all. Okay? Because line Xerox shops will be there, some 100 Xerox shops. You will definitely get. Astella enekke. If you go to Chandra Layout, okay, there you throw one stone like this, okay, when it will go and fall on one UPSC aspirant or one KPSC aspirant, right? So next question will come that so many industries are there in one spot now. How does it work out for them? Okay. See, this is called as cluster development approach. When cluster development happens, it's called as agglomeration effect in geography. Okay, agglomeration effect is told by this person called as Alfred Marshall. Okay, Alfred Marshall, or it's called as Marshallian Trinity. So according to this Marshallian Trinity, what it says is that, see, for you to go and set up a shop in one particular location, certain factors have to come together. One is high quality of, like for example, you take Chandra Layout only. Why does Chandra Layout, why do all the people come here from across Karnataka, from other states? Why do they come here? Because they, if let's imagine all the IAS institutes were in different places. That means to say that teachers you will not get in one place, they'll have to keep searching. Students cannot go to one place. PGs cannot be in one place. Study centers cannot be in one place. Right? Because all of this is there, Xerox shops, study centers, that whole roads, food outlets, everything can sustain in one place. Right? And if anybody in South India wants to prepare, they will come to that particular road of that particular area, of that particular city. Correct? So this is how cluster based approach works. There is one very famous program also, it's called as One District, One Product program. Have you guys heard of this? So one district, one product andre one district al one product togoli, ella enak manufacture ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತಾ ಇದೀರಾ? ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಚೈನಾ ತರ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಸ್ಪೆಷಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಗೆ we'll be able to manufacture it at a cheaper price, we'll get specialized skills, we'll be able to generate more capital. Okay, we will be known for that particular product. ದೊಡ್ಡ ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. That is how it works. Correct? So anyways, so that is how cluster based approach works. Okay. Next one, a new scheme of Prime Minister, it's called Vishwakarma, to provide end-to-end support assistance to traditional artisans craftspersons covering 18 activities. Okay, so there are a lot of these activities which are there. So okay. So basically, you guys have recently seen this Ayodhya Ram Mandir inauguration. Have you guys seen the idol? How many of you think it's very beautiful? Who sculpted it? Correct? So who was he? He was a sculptor, correct? Comes from a generation of sculptors, 3-4 generations of sculptors. So he was an artisan. He was very talented. He got such an opportunity. Maybe he is making money. Okay, but ಅದೇ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಇರ್ತಾರಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ. Okay, why are they not like that? Because they don't have that kind of a skill. ಆ ಥರ skill ಕಲ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. So for such artisans, not just sculptors, potters, welders, many other things, you have something called as Vishwakarma scheme. Okay, so Vishwakarma scheme will see end-to-end assistance. It can be financial assistance, it can be training assistance, it can be counseling assistance, it can be seeking out opportunities assistance. Everything from end to end, Vishwakarma will take care. Is this clear? This is mainly for artisans. You have to note this, that Vishwakarma is for artisans. Even ಹೆಸರು ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ usually it will come as a single statement question and you will be able to tick. ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಏನು ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. Okay? Now these are the two things which we saw. One is PM EGP and one more is MSE CDP, that is Cluster Development Program. Okay? More or less whatever I have explained is only there. Okay? So like I told you, Prime Minister Employment Guarantee Program, it was launched in August 2008. Okay? It's a credit linked subsidy scheme by Ministry of MSME. Okay? And it is approved for continuation over 15th Finance Commission cycle. This is very, very important. ಈ ವರ್ಡ್ ಓವರ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ after the 15th Finance Commission cycle. Okay, meaning to say, when is the 15th Finance Commission from? 2021 to 2026. Right now, 16th Finance Commission, who is the head? Arvind Panagaria. Okay, Dodoru, sir. Okay, so Arvind Panagaria, sir. So this person, he will come and from his financial, according to Article 280, whatever he tells recommendations, it's not binding on the government, but most probably they will follow whatever devolution measures he has given. Vertical devolution, horizontal devolution, everything they will follow. Now, here in this program, they have told that it will continue over the 15th Finance Commission cycle. Meaning to say that whatever Arvind Panagaria sir will tell, from 2026 onwards, it will continue to the next cycle. 16th Finance Commission guno Prime Minister Employment Guarantee Program irutte. Understood this? A loan of up to rupees 50 lakh for the manufacturing sector and up to rupees 20 lakh for the services sector will be given, and it is extended through various banks. Okay? So like I told you, it's a credit linked subsidy program anta helidnalva. Credit linked andre niಮಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. Credit means giving money. So how much money can I take? I can take 50 lakhs for how much? For if I'm doing manufacturing business. I can take 20 lakhs if I'm doing services business. Got it? Why here manufacturing is given more money? Because they understand that manufacturing sector, more money even if they're giving, it will generate more jobs. Okay? Next one, this cluster development program. So here 12 clusters project is going to be generated from rupees 11,309 crores. Okay, 12 cluster project cost will be from 11,309 crores. Is this clear? So ಈ 12 clusters ಅಂದರೆ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಚಂದ್ರ ಲೇಔಟಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ IAS ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆಯೋ ಅದೇ ಥರ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಕ್ಲಸ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ದಟ್ ಆಸ್ ಅನ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ಬೇಸ್. as a manufacturing hub. So where are those 12 clusters going to be? It is going to be in Dharwad, Kalburgi, Vijayapura, Bidar, Belagavi, Bengaluru, Ramnagara, Uttar Karnataka and Chitradurga. Okay, understood this? These are where, okay, it's going to be Dharwad, Kalburgi, Vijayapura, Bidar, Belagavi, Bengaluru, Ramnagara, Uttar Karnataka, Uttar Kannada and Chitradurga. Okay, these are the ones which are already functioning, where already work is happening. Okay, this from 2023, it's latest. Okay, so if we have to see here, okay, where can we, let's try to map this out on a map. Okay, so over here, where is Bidar? Here on the top. Next one, where is Dharwad? Somewhere over here. Okay. Next one, where is Kalburgi? Below Bidar. Okay. After that, where is Vijayapura? Illello barutte. Correct? Okay, on ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ. Okay. This is not according to scale. Okay, on ಅಂದಾಜ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಓಕೆ, ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟು ವಿಜಯಪುರ, ಬೆಳಗಾವಿ. ಬೆಳಗಾವಿ ಆಯಿತಾ? ಹಿಯರ್. ಓಕೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಓವರ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ಓಕೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ರಾಮನಗರ, ಉತ್ತರ ಕನ್ನಡ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಚಿತ್ರದುರ್ಗ. ಚಿತ್ರದುರ್ಗ somewhere over here. Okay. So these are the places. So overall agi ನೀವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ, what can you make out? That this cluster development is happening almost across Karnataka ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? Okay. They are not concentrating only on south, only on north. ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆನೂ they are trying to promote clusters. ಈ ಫುಲ್ ಒಂದು ಮ್ಯಾಪ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ. Correct? So they are trying to do all of this. ಎಷ್ಟು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? 11,309 crores. Remember this number. Okay, 11,309 crores. Next. Some important schemes achievements, okay, are as follows. Okay, little more patience I want from you guys. Okay. So I understand that on a Sunday ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಿಮಗೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಮಗೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ನೀವು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ. ವೈ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಸ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಒನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ. ವಿ ಆಲ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಬಿ KS, ನೋ? ಸೊ ಕೆಲವು ಸರಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಬಿರಿಯಾನಿಗಿಂತ ಮುಖ್ಯ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಒಂದು ಅರ್ಧ ಅವರ್ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಬಿರಿಯಾನಿಗೆ ಹಾಫ್ ಅವರ್ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಚೂರು, ಓಕೆ, ಒಂದು ಚೂರು ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಓವರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ loans against VAT payment of 666.9 crores has been released to 8 units. Okay, ಅಂದರೆ 8 ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ಗೆ 666 crores ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ. Okay, incentives and concessions of 31 crores has been released to 13 units. Okay, incentive and concession is different, loans is different. Loans ಅಂದರೆ ವಾಪಸ್ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು. ಇನ್ಸೆಂಟಿವ್ ಕನ್ಸೆಷನ್ ಅಂದರೆ ನೀವು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇನ್ಸೆಂಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಲೈಕ್ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಲೇಟಾಗಿ ಕೊಡಿ, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ ಇನ್ಸೆಂಟಿವ್. ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡಿ, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ ಇನ್ಸೆಂಟಿವ್. ಓಕೆ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಬಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಅ ವ್ಯಾಟ್. ಈವನ್ GST is a VAT. Okay, we don't call it a VAT, but here we are just referring that these taxes are value added, that's all. Okay, GST is also a VAT tax. So many VAT taxes are there. Okay, adan VAT anta explicit ಆಗಿ ಕರೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Next, 10 workshops on export awareness have been conducted and 600 entrepreneurs have participated. Next, market development assistance to 3 enterprises are provided to participate in international exhibition to promote export and trade. Okay, last one, Vishweshwaraya Trade Promotion Center. Okay, ಇದೊಂದು trade promotion center. Okay, Vishweshwaraya ಅವ್ರ ಹೆಸರಲ್ಲಿ. So they participated in something called IITF. What is IITF? India International Trade Fair. India International Trade Fair. Where was this held? This was held in Delhi. What did they do? They told, give us investment, give us investment. Who asked? Vishveshwaraya Trade Promotion Center. What did they want to promote? Trade. Where did they go? Delhi. What was happening in Delhi? IIFT. What is IIFT? India International Trade Fair. India International Trade Fair ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ? ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಅವರು ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವ್ರು ಏನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Got this? Okay. So ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? Because of promoting opportunities for MSME and artisans. Is this clear? MSME ಮತ್ತು artisansಗೆ promote ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ they started asking for money. Okay. Who? Vishveshwaraya Trade Promotion Center. Okay. Okay. After this, next, there's something called private industrial parks. Okay. Under this private industrial parks, we see that the government proposes to encourage establishment of industrial areas and estates in the state, either by private investors or through PPP model. Okay, so what does this basically tell us? Private industrial parks means it's an industrial park where so many industries will be there and it's owned by a private individual. How will it be owned by a private individual? Okay, is this something which the government is okay with? Government tells that yes, we are definitely okay with it. Private ಅವ್ರು ಮುಂದೆ ಬನ್ನಿ, ನೀವು ಪಾರ್ಕ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ನೀವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ದುಡ್ಡು ಸಂಪಾದಿಸಿ, ನೀವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ದುಡ್ಡು ಸಂಪಾದಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಖುಷಿ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ನಮಗೆ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟಾಗಿ ಖುಷಿ ಇದೆ. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಖುಷಿ ಇದೆ? ಏನಕ್ಕಂದರೆ ನೀವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ತೀರಾ. ನೀವು ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಲೈಫ್ ಜಿಂಗಾಲಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ದೇ ಆರ್ ವೆರಿ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ. ನೌ ಹಿಯರ್ ಹೌ ವಿಲ್ ಯು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್? ಯು ಟೆಲ್, ಬೇಕಾದರೆ ನಾವಿಬ್ಬರು ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಸೇರಿ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಶಿಪ್ಪಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಟ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್? ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಅಸ್ PPP, Public Private Partnership. There are so many models in it. BOT, HAM, EPM, so many things are there, right? And so in the state, either by private investors or through PPT. ಅಂದರೆ ನೀವೇ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಥವಾ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ ಸೇರಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಜನ ಮುಂದೆ ಬನ್ನಿ. ಓಕೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ನೀವು ಇವಾಗ ಹೋಗಿ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಲೈಕ್, ಓ ಓಕೆ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕರೀತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್. ಏನಕ್ಕಂದರೆ ನನ್ನ ಹತ್ರ ತುಂಬ ದುಡ್ಡಿದೆ. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ KPSC ನನಗೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮೈ ಓನ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಕ್ ಅಂತ ಯು ಮೈಟ್ ಥಿಂಕ್. ಆವಾಗ ನೀವೇನು ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಕೀಪ್ ಇನ್ ಮೈಂಡ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಕ್ಯಾಟಗರಿ ವೈಸ್ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಎಕ್ರೇಜ್ ಅಪ್ರೂವ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಎಕ್ರೇಜ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಮಚ್. ಲೈಕ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ಒನ್ ಮೆಕ್ಡೊನಾಲ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಾಂಚೈಸಿ, ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಇಷ್ಟು ದೊಡ್ಡದಿರಬೇಕು, ಯು ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್, ಹಂಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇ ಥರ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಪುಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಮ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ that if you are starting one private industrial park with so many industry space, minimum this much space has to be there. ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ರೆ well and good. Okay, so minimum acreage is knowledge based industry. Anything to do with knowledge should be 5 acres minimum. Anything to do with logistics means very big, some port, adu idu ಎಲ್ಲ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ, ದೊಡ್ಡ ಇದೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So some docking space, very big, this thing you need 50 acres. Okay. Some multi-sector specific industrial parks. Multi-sector specific industrial parks means there can be multi-sector investments. Like there will be there will be some port also there attached. There will be some space also which is attached. So multiple things will be there, which is ongoing. One industrial thing will also be there. Okay, like for example, let's say Pina. Okay, so here 75 acres. 75 acres have to be there, and integrated industrial parks is 250 acres. Integrated industrial parks is 250 acres. Okay, so the picture has become blurred. Okay, but this is pretty much how it looks. Okay, and okay, I think a lot more is there. We'll have to continue in the next class only, okay? Because, okay, but anyways, give me 2 more minutes, okay? So, I am sure that all of you are working very, very hard. Many of you are trying to study. and some of you might feel guilty at the end of the day that, how many of you feel guilty at the end of the day that ನಾನು ತುಂಬ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಎದ್ದು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಓದಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೆ, but I was not able to study it today? Do you guys feel guilty? Yes? Okay. So, okay, like I'll tell you guys a small story. Okay, after this we'll end it. Okay. So, this story is of a big king. Okay, it was very like proper Raja. He was indulged in all the materialistic things of his life. Okay, and in all the materialistic things of his life, he has seen everything. He has seen everything: alcohol, women, power, babies, everything he has seen, right? And after this, he suddenly gets, ಏನಂತಾರೆ ಕನ್ನಡಲ್ಲಿ, you know, jigupse. Okay, he gets that in his life and he is like, ನನಗೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಬೇಡ. I just want enlightenment, I just want moksha, I just want just this basic thing, I just want to be elevated, I want moksha in my life. I don't want all this. Anta suddenly he'll make this decision and he'll leave all his things in his kingdom, all his luxuries, gold, adu idu ellanu bitbittu, he'll not take anything. He'll just go to some small village, he'll just go to some small place in the corner of his kingdom and he will set one small ashram there. He'll not take anything, he'll not take like 1 rupee also, he'll not take. Just 2 dhoti, panche, you know, like he'll take that and he'll go there and he'll set up one small ashrama in one village and he will start meditating there to achieve moksha. Belagginda ratrivargu he would continuously meditate. His evening ordeal would be that ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು some villagers will come, ಅವ್ರು ಏನಾದರೂ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳೋದು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಎಸ್ ಡೈಲಿ ರೊಟೀನ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಗೋಸ್ ಆನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡೈಲಿ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಬೆಳಗಿಂದ ರಾತ್ರಿವರೆಗೂ ಈ ವುಡ್ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಟ್. ಸಂಜೆ ಬಂದು ಈ ವಿಲ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಸಮ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್, ಅಗೇನ್ ರಾತ್ರಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಟ್, ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಟ್, ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಡೂ ದಿಸ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿನ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ದ ವಿಲೇಜರ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಲೈಕ್, ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನೌ ಈ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪಂಚೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೋಲ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆಶ್ರಮಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಇಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್, ರ್ಯಾಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ವೈ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಯು ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ರಿಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್? ಓಕೆ, ದ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಇಸ್ ಲೈಕ್, ಓಕೆ, ನಾವೊಂದು ಸಜೆಷನ್ ಕೊಡೋದಾ? ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ವಿಲ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್, ಓಕೆ ಆಯಿತು, ಏನು? ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ನೀವೊಂದು ಬೆಕ್ಕಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಕೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ರ್ಯಾಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಆದಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಮೋಕ್ಷ, ಎನ್ಲೈಟನ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಓಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಇಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಓಕೆ. ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿನ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಬೆಕ್ಕಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವಾಗ ಅವ್ರು ತಿನ್ನೋದಾಗದೆ ಬೆಕ್ಕು ತಿನ್ನಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿನ ಅವರು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನಾದರೂ ತಿಂತಾಯಿದ್ರು, ಇವರು ಕೊಡೋದು, ಅದನ್ನೇ ಬೆಕ್ಕು ಇಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರು. ದಟ್ ಬೆಕ್ಕು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ವೆರಿ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ನಿ, ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಬ್ ಕೇಜ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾಣಿಸೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ದ ವಿಲೇಜರ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಲೈಕ್, ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿರಾ, ಬಟ್ ಆ ಬೆಕ್ಕು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ಬೆಕ್ಕಿಗೆ ಹಾಲು ಬೇಕು, ನೀವೊಂದು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿ, ವೈ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಅ ಕೌ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ? ಆ ಕೌ ನೀವು ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ದೆನ್ ಆ ಕೌವಿಂದ ನೀವು ಮಿಲ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಅದನ್ನೊಂದು ಸರಿ ಗ್ರೇಸಿಂಗ್ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು, ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ನೀವೇ ಅದೇ ಹಾಲು ಕುಡ್ಕೋಬೋದು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಫೀಡ್ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡೂ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಮೋಕ್ಷ. ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಓಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಇಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಓಕೆ. ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಅಗೇನ್ ಫ್ಯೂ ಡೇಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿನ ಹೋಗಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಲುಕಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಈ ಡೈಲಿ ಹಿಸ್ ಆರ್ಡಿಯಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಲೈಕ್ ಹಸುನ ಇದು ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡೋಗಿ ತಿನ್ನಿಸೋದು, ಹುಲ್ಲು ತಿನ್ನಿಸೋದು, ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಹಾಲು ಕರಿಯೋದು, ಟು ಫೀಡ್ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಟ್, ಟು ಫೀಡ್ ದ ಕೌ, ಟು ಫೀಡ್ ಹಿಮ್ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಮಿಕ್ಕಿರೋ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್, ಮೋಕ್ಷ. ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟು ಅಗೇನ್ ವಿಲೇಜರ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್, ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಇರೋವಾಗ, ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ನೀವು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮೋಕ್ಷ ಅಚೀವ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ? ವೈ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ಒನ್ ಮೇಡ್? ಅವ್ರು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ನೀವು ಮಿಕ್ಕಿರೋ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮೋಕ್ಷ ಅಚೀವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಒಂದು ಮೇಡ್ ತಂದು ಕೊಡೋದ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ, ನೀವು ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಓಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಲೈಕ್ ಓಕೆ. ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಅಗೇನ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ ಆನ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿನ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದಾದಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ಅಗೇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್, ವಿಲೇಜರ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಲೈಕ್, ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ದ ವಿಲೇಜರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಯು, ದಟ್ ಒನ್ ಅನ್ಮ್ಯಾರಿಡ್ ವುಮೆನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಅನ್ಮ್ಯಾರಿಡ್ ಮೇಲ್ ಒಂದು ಆಶ್ರಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಅದು ಹೆಂಗೆ, ಇಟ್ ಡಸಂಟ್ ಲುಕ್ ಗುಡ್. ಸೊ ನೀವೊಂದು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿ, ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಮದುವೆ ಆಗಿಬಿಡಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ. ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಯಾರು ಏನು ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪಾಠಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಮೆಡಿಟೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಮೋಕ್ಷ ಅಚೀವ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಯಾರು ಏನು ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಓಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ? ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಇಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಓಕೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿನ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ದೆನ್ ವಿಲೇಜಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಆರ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಇಲ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ಹುಡ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಕಾಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಬೇಬಿ. ಸೊ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಈ ವಿಲೇಜ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಬೇಬಿ ಬೇಕು ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಬೇಕು. ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಓಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ? ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಇಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಓಕೆ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿನ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಬರೀ ಒನ್ ಬೇಬಿ, ಓಕೆ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಒನ್ ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಟೀಮ್. ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಓಕೆನಾ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ? ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಟೆಲ್ಸ್ ಓಕೆ. ಇವಾಗ ಯು ಮೈಟ್ ಬಿ ವಂಡ್ರಿಂಗ್ ವೈ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್. ಸಿ, when initially many of you raised your hands when you are doing a job also, okay, already what the logic you can infer is you are all kings and queens in your own right. You all, if you do a private job, if you are already in a job, if you continue that, definitely you will reach a position, right? But you have left everything which you have, you have sacrificed everything which you have with an aspiration for something bigger. Now when you come here for achieving that something which is bigger, okay, why did that Swamiji need that cat, that cow, that wife, that 2 children? He could have rather stayed as a king in his own palace only, no? And after all of this, do you think he can ever achieve moksha? Same way, when you are studying here, when you are doing here, okay, why do you need all of this Instagram, boyfriend, girlfriend, Snapchat, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು? ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ ಆಲ್ ದಟ್, ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 50 ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು 40 ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ, ರೈಟ್? ವೈ ಡು ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್? ಸೊ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಯೋರ್ distractions, increase your utility. If you feel that because of your mobile you are not able to study, make that decision today. Change it to one basic phone. If you are really you feel you are addicted, change it to one basic phone. 40 ದಿನ ಏನೇನೂ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. You will end up that at least you are saving 3 hours every day, which will actually translate to 120 extra hours of studying. Okay, so reduce your distractions, increase your utility. Is this fine? ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಏನಂತೀರಾ?